peaceful as the birds in the ocean, gliding like the gulls over the ocean. Lovely hula hand, only banana. Lovely hula hand, telling of the rain in the valley, and the swirling wind over the valley. Lovely hula hand, only banana. I can feel the soft caresses of your lovely hand, lovely hula hand. Every little mood expresses, so I'll understand all the tender meaning of your hula hands, fingertips that say aloha. Say to me again, I love you, lovely hula hand, oh manani. Feel the soft caresses of your lovely hands, lovely hula hands. Every little mood expresses, so I'll understand all the tender meaning of your hula hands, fingertips that say aloha. Say to me again, I love you, lovely hula hand, holy
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ImagineEars Disney podcast. I am your host, Matt, and I am by myself. So, welcome, everyone. Susie, kind of last minute, but it's fine. Totally fine. Things happen. Susie had to take Copper to the vet. So, Copper is experiencing some difficulties. We don't know what, but we're going to get down to the bottom of it. So Susie's taking him to the vet, get checked out. So I'm hoping to have a special guest here in a few minutes as soon as they put their kids down for bed. So stick around. Tonight's topic is going to be super fun. And kind of tied into that topic tonight, we do have a news piece. So earlier today, we did find out that the Spirit of Aloha dinner show at the Polynesian at Walt Disney World is not coming back. So it was kind of one of the big question marks. I think this one was probably the most expected one that wasn't going to come back. I think it has, sadly, I mean, this is one of the opening things. for the Polynesian. A show has been there since opening, and if you go back and watch the television special that showed the opening of Walt Disney World, you will actually see some clips from that space. So it has been a space that has been used for 50 years, and they are going to be doing something different with it. They are going to build, extend the resort and build some DVC suites and rooms there in a tower, a couple towers. In fact, they did release some concept art earlier today. So here it is. Without further ado, there it is. So center building, and then flanked on the sides by more. So I'm curious how this fits within the tiny swath of land that is between the current Polynesian resort and the Grand Floridian. And the closest thing on the Grand Floridian side is the wedding pavilion. So there have been many thoughts about the concept art today. Some absolutely love it. Others aren't really big on it. They think it's a little bit too contemporary, too modern. For the Polynesian aesthetic, and that they should go more towards what Alani does for their design. And I tend to agree with that. But I'll stick it up one more time. I'm still looking forward to see what happens with this. Again, these are just concept only, but the resort is going to have the extension is going to have an infinity pool. I'm sure we'll have dining options. And in fact, I'm willing to bet they're at the top of the center building. We'll probably have something, but time will tell. But these are going to be vacation villas for Disney Vacation Club. So currently, the Polynesian Resort does have DVC rooms, but I think they only go up to one bedroom. So they have studios and one bedroom. So I'm excited to see what they do and how they expand that and make larger options for people who need it. So I think the one bedrooms, you max out at 6, but those 2 bedrooms can get even more people. So people with larger families can get in. So all the DVC properties go very quickly when they are released for DVC memberships and purchases. And so if you are a DVC member, just be on the lookout for this. I'm sure over the next couple of years, we will be seeing progress as they, again, get rid of Spirit of Aloha and the stage and buildings there to make way for the new DVC tower. So that is the news for this week, but just wanted to say hello to everyone who is joined in watching. Hey, Alex and Karina, Swansea, Michael. Michael says, hope Copper is okay. I'm sure Copper's going to be just fine. So I'm sure Susie will appreciate coming back and looking at that. So all the well wishes for Copper coming in, Karina. Yeah. Swansea says the new DVC prices are out of his price range. Well, you never know. So we've never really talked about it, but so as travel agents, we cannot do DVC properties unless they are open to general booking. Typically, DVC members have the first crack at that. But there is another place. Like there are multiple places you can actually go get some of the DVC properties for a reduced price. People give out the points, and then you can purchase those as regular bookings. So, like for instance, sometimes. You can get a lot of the Animal Kingdom Lodge and Bay Lake Tower. So if you're wanting some of those locations, a DVC rental store will be a good option for you if you want to stay at those properties and if there's availability and the DVC members aren't taking them. So, and it looks like we have our special guest for this evening. So without further ado, I believe the first time on this program. I think so. Yes, I think he's shaking his head. Yes. So without further ado, Mr. John Rogers from Travel Nation. Hello, sir.
Hey everybody, how are you? Hopefully you can hear me okay. We did
Yep.
no audio testing at all right now.
We're doing good. We're just winging it tonight, and that's okay.
It's the way to do it. And speaking of winging it, if you hear any noise in the background, that's because we're still in the middle of bedtime routine. So, real life,
Real life here, and so we've had real life circumstances here. I mean, my kid comes in this room all the time. Sometimes
Sure.
interrupts the podcast. Pick her up, give her a kiss goodnight, and off she goes. So yeah, for sure. Know the feeling.
Solid.
But they're actually out of town this week. So my wife and my kiddo went to North Carolina with my father-in-law for their spring break. I wasn't able to slip away from work for this week. So they're up there having a good time. They've actually seen snow. So that's always fun for a 4-year-old from Florida.
Yeah, for sure.
So real quick to plug John here. So John is a fellow Travel Nation agent, just like Susie and I, and he has an excellent program on Tuesday nights as well. So we're going to have him, and then he's going to go record his stuff. So, but Travel Tips Tuesday.
That's
so he does a great job with his stuff. We're all Disney lovers, but we're also here to promote our businesses. And it's one of the great things that I love about Travel Nation. There's so many. There are a few agents who have kind of their own personal branding and their podcast and YouTube channels, and they're so unique. And everybody's just really supportive of each other. And I think that's just across the board with our company. We're all in it together, and we encourage each other and cheer each other on. And it's great seeing all of us succeed. So yeah, congratulations. Congratulations to you and on your success with business and with your podcast as well. So.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the podcast thing, it started off as like a fledgling social media challenge, and literally like it started off with my laptop computer sitting on my kitchen table. You could like see my nose hairs and stuff, and it was just like the production value was just like, who is this guy, right? So now it's slightly better than that, but thanks to actually Matt in part with some recommendations on some solid gear along the way. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. I completely agree with Matt as far as how the culture of Travel Nation, there's a competitive edge to it in a way. But I think one of the reasons why we're so successful, business wise and otherwise, even with stuff like, podcast and the various ways people, kind of put themselves out there is because we share these things. We want to see each other succeed, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep, it's been a blast, and it's great to see travel come back. For a couple of years, it was a little hairy. We were fortunate enough to have places like Disney World who were shut down for a few months, but were able to open back up and take in guests. Mexico, I think, has been a big help for a lot of us. But specific with Disney World, little by little, we've seen things start coming back and things changing. So, right before you came on, we were talking about the Polynesian update today with the DVC property, the essentially removal of the Spirit of Aloha dining dinner show there, a staple that has been at the Polynesian for a very long time. But at the same time, we're getting other things back too. So Victorian Albert's was announced that is going to be coming back.
I did not see that. That's exciting.
No official date, but it is going to be this year, and rightfully so. I mean, it is one of the big key pieces that's missing from the Grand Floridian experience, which is this is all kind of what we're going to be discussing a little bit tonight. One of the benefits of especially going to the Magic Kingdom, and you're thinking about where should I stay for vacation, where is the best place for my family. A lot of factors can go into that, and I think one of the best places, especially if you have smaller children, is the monorail loop.
Right.
And we're going to give we're going to talk about the 3 resorts, maybe, and we'll maybe talk a little bit about the 4th and 5th resort that's technically not on the monorail, but in the Magic Kingdom area.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult not talking about Magic Kingdom resort area convenience without mentioning those 2, because at least for one of them, it's a completely different price point typically.
Right.
So, yeah, let's just, all right. We are at Ticket and Transportation Center. Are we going to go right or are we going to go left? How do we want to do this?
I don't know. Like, I feel like this is the whole like World Showcase discussion, right? Which way do you go? I'm a Mexico guy. I go left. So if you're,
let's go left.
Yeah, let's go left. Let's that.
Let's go left. We'll go left, and then we'll end on our honorable mentions that aren't technically on the monorail line. So Polynesian. All right. So I always let Susie go first. So as a guest, what do you love about the Polynesian? What are you're selling the Polynesian? What makes it a great resort?
So I have to be like transparent. I've been doing travel for a while. I'm a former Walt Disney World cast member from like way long time ago, and had never stayed at the Polynesian until this past January. So that was been there, lots of different times for different things, but first time staying there. And one of the things I absolutely love about it is sort of the convenience. It is within walking distance to the TTC. Especially if you're staying in one of those, kind of outward buildings that's closer in, you could, walk on to your room, like getting off the TTC from Epcot or whatever. And it's, the lines are backed up, just, walking over. And we did that, like coming back from Epcot at the Travelmation Retreat back in January one time. So I love the convenience of it. The whole package, the dining options that are there. I mean, for love of Pete, it's where Ohana is.
Yep.
So got the pineapple lanai where you can grab your Dole Whip. The pool is phenomenal. It's one of my top 2, maybe top 3 pools on property. And every time I go there are there are always kids there, but they're not like, I mean, parents are always watching them, and the whole vibe is just real, laid back, and everybody's not too prim and proper. It has a completely different feel than the other resorts on the loop, and I think is, for me anyways, probably the more family friendly of the resorts on the loop. And even on top of that, so family friendly, there are definitely some adult focused options that are there as well. This little hidey hole of a bar called Trader Sam's. You may have heard of it. So yeah, it's just, and I love the Polynesian vibe of it. They've got the beautiful over the water bungalows that are there, which that's just a place to go. It's not very busy. And I'd love like just walking down that path sometimes when you're just looking for a moment of quiet, even though you've kind of got the ferry boats tooting their horns in the distance out there. But it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I absolutely love the Polynesian.
Yeah, same for me. I mean, I've said it on here before. I think the Polynesian is probably my favorite resort. I love the Polynesian. I love staying there. It's one of the original resorts. There's a lot of history there, and you hit a lot of really great points, especially a lot of people don't consider how close it is. Like you said, the outer buildings, how close it is to TTC. So if you're going to Epcot, you literally just 5-minute walk over there and jump on the monorail and go over to Epcot. So yeah, that's a great point. Amazing pools. The volcano pool is, I think, one of the best, most fun pools on Disney property. And sorry, I see comments in here, and Andrew's like, Susie's voice is way deeper today. He
Yeah,
said,
I'm real sorry to disappoint you, Andrew.
missed the
Try to.
beginning. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, the Polynesian is great. The pools are great. I think the dining options are
Mhm.
also phenomenal. Both for snacks, pineapple and I, where you can get Dole Whip pretty much anytime you want.
Mhm.
Then Captain Cook's is one of my favorite quick services at Disney World. Love the meatballs, the Thai curry meatballs.
Oh yes, yes.
Yep, those are good. And then, of course, you have Kona Cafe, Tonga Toast there, Pog Juice,
Gotta love the pog juice.
Kona Coffee. So,
Yes,
so one of the best cups of coffee you'll ever have at Disney is right there. Um,
absolutely.
and then Ohana, both for breakfast and dinner, completely different experiences. Um, we actually ate at Ohana at the retreat, and we had a good time. I mean, it's it's lately I think it's been pretty consistent. So
Yeah.
the food is always delicious. And then, like you mentioned, there are options for adults as well. So there's the lounge just outside of Ohana, and
Mhm.
then of course there's the terrace outside, and then Trader Sam's, which is inside, tucked away, very hidden, very small in the first floor. So food and dining is 100% a highlight there.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's just a different vibe. Um, there, it's still missing a few things from pre-pandemic. You know, there were times where you can go in and they'd be doing like hula, like cast members
Mhm.
would be doing like hula stuff, and like it'd be great for the kids. Um, that obviously has not come back, but hopefully in the near future we will see some kind of. It's like uh, the fine tuning, like the polish, like the spit shine of the resort, and yeah, I think overall it's just a really relaxed environment, and it is, I think, unique in what it offers as far as that goes. I think with a majority of the resorts, and you can don't get me wrong, you can relax at plenty of the other Disney resorts. This one just has a different vibe to it.
It does.
So, yeah. All right, Polynesian. Let's move around the horn. Grand Floridian. What makes it great, John?
Well, what makes it great? Well, I mean, it's theoretically the flagship resort for Disney. Has been that way for uh, a little while now. I guess you could kind of argue that maybe conceptually versus some of the other ones that are out there. But the Grand is one of my favorite places to go. I think, especially during the holiday season, with the gingerbread house that's there in the lobby. Um, it just sort of, I think, the overall vibe of it is a little bit more formal. I mean, it's the home of Victoria and Albert's, like Matt was saying earlier. So I think there's sort of a little bit more of an expectation to see, well, things like weddings going on. For instance, it's the home of the wedding pavilion, and one of the two locations on property for Census by
Mm.
Disney, the spa, which that is, if you've never done that, gone to Census by Disney, definitely do that. My wife and I did that on our honeymoon at the Grand Floridian after a long day in Magic Kingdom. We were all hot and sweaty, and they didn't care, and that was okay. And it was a great experience. And I like the Grand Floridian. To me, it seems, because I guess because of the outbuildings, a little bit. It seems a little bit more spread out. Like once you're there, I mean, you kind of look at it from the outside, and a little bit, it looks like everything's kind of bunched together, but it doesn't really feel that way when you get there. And it also has a it's sort of family flavor to it. But just like real quickly, I had the chance to stay at the Grand back in December, it for maybe the first time since I was a child. And it was a very different experience for me kind of as an adult. I was sort of going into it, I mean, as blind as I could be, just being at Disney all the time and all the things. But I was very impressed. I had a very and I hear the Grand get knocked around every so often, but we checked in a little bit early, and we had like all these bags and things that were with us, and the person that I cannot remember the name of the guy. I think I wrote it down somewhere. The cast member that we met at the bell stand was a Disney legend. So I was like, this guy's about to do something really great for us. So I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? I just kind of had that feeling, when you meet somebody that something cool is about to happen. So he's like, go and meet me behind the staircase. I'm like, okay, there's this like staircase just to kind of the left of the check-in desk at the Grand Floridian. So I'm like waiting there inside the staircase. What he meant was meet me outside the staircase. He had all of our luggage waiting on the back of a golf cart, and he like drove us all the way to the building, got all of our stuff in there and brought it in. He was like, what do you need? Do you want some more coffee? Do you want some more like soaps? Do you want a microwave in your room? And it was a very like detailed, check-in experience. And I'm not going to say like everybody's going to get the same level of service, but one of the things the Grand is known for, I think, is a little bit more of a distinctive quality that you're going to get. It's not so much about the activities or the things you do, but it's more of I guess the way you're served. And of course, the dining there, speaking of being served, I mean, there's Victoria and Albert's, there's Narcoossee's, there's the Grand Floridian Cafe, Citrico's, so there's lots of great places around there, for folks coming out of Magic Kingdom, and also for the folks that are staying there. It is an outstanding hotel for, celebrations for people that are, looking to take a honeymoon or, anniversary trip or something like that. Even if families just looking to go, I've had, younger families that I go stay there and absolutely love it. So yeah, love the Grand all around.
Yeah, I think the Grand presents itself like just visually. You have expectations going in. It has a reputation for being more of the luxury experience. We talk about kind of the vibe with a Polynesian. This has a completely different vibe. You are going here. It's almost an elevated experience. So, one of our favorite memories, personally, my wife and I, we had breakfast, room service brought to our room, and the gentleman comes and he brings in the breakfast, and his name was Winston. So I thought that was just very Grand Floridian.
Winston.
I don't even know if he's still there, but he was amazing. But yeah, and you talked about dining. I think as far as dining goes, this is probably maybe the best resort across property as far as number of options. Great options. So
Yes.
Grand Floridian Cafe and 1900 Park Fair are both really, really nice kind of standard experiences. You got a character dining. It's not back yet.
Right.
I would anticipate that it will be coming back. It's way too popular, just because of the characters that you have there. But Grand Floridian Cafe is a solid option, and then you have 3 really just outstanding restaurants, 2 which are fantastic in Citricos and Narcoossee's, and then you have the Victoria and Albert's, which may be one of the best restaurants in Florida, like period. Not Disney World, Florida. I mean, it is for a lot of people a once in a lifetime experience. Reservations are very difficult to get, and I'm looking forward to it coming back because
Have you ever eaten there at Victoria and Albert's?
It is one of the only places I haven't, so it's on the list.
Hang on, my audio just totally dropped out. I don't know why. Keep talking.
I can still hear you. Does that mean hopefully that helps? But can you hear me now?
There we go. I'm good.
Okay, great. I have not eaten there. It's on my to-do list. As soon as it comes back, we'll need to do a date night and make a reservation and go down and really experience it. So the closest thing
Thanks for
I've had
inviting me,
to it,
Matt. I appreciate it.
absolutely,
Just
yeah.
kidding.
Me and John are going to go on a date to Victoria and Albert. Um, Remy on the Disney Cruise Line, I think, is very close, as close of an experience that I've had with that. But yeah, looking forward to doing that. But it has, again, a very high reputation. So dining, ambiance, I think the piano player in the lobby is iconic. And then, of course, you mentioned it with the holidays, with Christmas, the gingerbread house. It's a beautiful resort, both inside, outside. The aesthetics are great. It looks amazing in photos. There are great things for adults for dining. There are great things for kids, the character dining. And then, of course, eventually, hopefully, they'll do like the princess tea time again. A great pool, great location again. And now that they finished the walkway around to Magic Kingdom, you can walk as easy as you could from the Contemporary to Magic Kingdom. Now you can do that for the Grand Floridian. And then, of course, the monorail and then boat transportation, like the little Willy Wonka boat. I like to call them the Willy Wonka boats that go over to Magic Kingdom. So yeah, it's a fantastic resort.
So fun. Actually, I'm going to say two things because that reminded me of one of my favorite Disney stories from a cast member. One things you have not mentioned that I didn't mention is the smell.
Oh
The smell of
yes,
the Grand Floridian lobby is like, I would say, arguably the best like hotel lobby smell on property. It's like something you
so
kind of
popular they have made candle scents for it.
yes, 100%. But you mentioned the Willy Wonka boats. They're basically like those boats are basically like a bigger version of the ones you have on the Jungle Cruise. Like they're very very like as far as like I don't know how they're laid out. And that reminded me like one time we went on the Jungle Cruise. I don't know, this must have been like 5 or 6 years ago. And as we were coming into like the tunnel of like the temple, the cast member like stopped his spiel like mid like in the middle of it and just start singing the "Come with me and you'll see in the world of pure imagination" and sing like the whole thing all the way through the temple scene. It was like the weirdest thing. And when he stopped, there's like this 5-second awkward pause and everybody lost it. It was really funny. But anyway, sorry, tangent.
Some of those boat captains are characters. So
A bit. Yes.
yep. All right. So we're working our way around, going past Magic Kingdom or stopping at Magic Kingdom, moving on to the next resort. And we are at the Contemporary. What do you love about the Contemporary?
What do I love about the Contemporary? Don't you love it when people like repeat a question back to you when you ask them that? I don't know. It's just kind of weird, but I like it because of the distance. We talked about the walking distance between the Grand Floridian and Magic Kingdom with the path being open. The Contemporary is very close to Magic Kingdom. I mean, 10-minute walk tops. You can be, from to security well to the touch points, turnstiles in Magic Kingdom to the inside of the lobby at the Contemporary. It's one of my favorite travel hacks to tell people, how do I get to downtown Disney from Magic Kingdom? Walk to the Contemporary and hop on a bus. It's the easiest way. It's so convenient. If you want to get out of the park and you want to grab a meal and you don't want to have to worry about like getting on a bus, taking a taxi, an Uber, or even waiting on the monorail, walk to the Contemporary. Hang out at the Contempo Cafe. Even Steakhouse 71 that's downstairs right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Chef Mickey's is a classic for families that are looking to get the kind of the Fab Five experience. And I would even go to say I haven't been there yet, but the feedback that have been getting from folks since it's come back from the pandemic is that the quality of the food may have improved a little bit at Chef Mickey's.
I think that has actually been a very popular trend across the board at a lot of places.
It's a fair point. Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with you based on some other places that I've been. I love the shops at the Contemporary. and the kind of Grand Canyon concourse area. Of course, the giant Mary Blair tile work that's there with the 5-legged goat and the monorail coming through, and it's just something very like authentically Disney about it. And of course, it's been there since kind of the opening of Walt Disney World. But there's just something like you go there and you sort of, I don't know, sense the history of what the place is all about. And and I don't know if you've been in them yet or not, but the newly kind of rethemed Incredibles rooms, I was kind of like, I don't know, I was a little standoffish at first on what that would look like. We didn't really talk about the Moana rooms at Polynesia, which I did like.
Oh yeah, we didn't
as
really,
well.
did we?
But the Incredible rooms at the Contemporary are pretty great. Like I like them. It's not like overtly. It's not one of those things where you go in and you're like, they're very subtle touches that sort of blend in with that era a little bit, and I think do a good job and nod to the film franchise, as it were. Of course, you've got Bay Lake Tower. I guess you can kind of like connect that because it's sort of part of the Contemporary atmosphere, even though technically it's a different resort, I guess, since it's a DVC property. But great sweeping, park views, lake views. And of course, you've got the outbuildings from the Contemporary there, which tend to be, if you're looking, for, in my experience anyway, in pricing out resort hotel rooms, the outbuildings of the Contemporary tend to be some of the lesser expensive options right directly on the monorail loop. So, you can definitely get all the amenities of that and the experience of staying there with, maybe not paying quite as much. So, yeah, I love it. I love the Contemporary.
Yeah. The Contemporary for me, I feel like for a lot of people, when they think about Disney World, this is the resort they think about. And I think it's because of a lot of the things that you mentioned. I think the monorail going through the resort. I mean, how cool is that? For the people who were here on day one and beyond, I think this resort has, for the most part, stood the test of time. I've had some refreshes, but you still have your iconic pieces like the Grand Canyon Concourse and Mary Blair's mural.
Sure.
You've had things switch out a little bit. You go all the way up to the top of the building with California Grill currently. That was a dinner show at the start, I believe. Interestingly enough, the California Grill is currently doing a 50th anniversary special meal. So up until this past year, you could go in. There were several things you could order off the menu. Right now, it's prefix, and some of the items on the menu are going back, way back, to the start of the resort. And I think one of the pizzas is inspired some of the menu items from that restaurant. And then, of course, they have the classic things like the beef wontons and the fillet. One of the best fillets you're ever going to have at a Disney resort.
So I've heard. I've not been up there yet, but I hope to someday.
Oh, so you've never been to California Grill?
I have not. I have not been to California Grill.
I was there on Sunday, and it was great.
I hate you a little, but that's okay.
But yeah, the 50th anniversary menu is great. But I think another draw for that restaurant, since we're kind of talking about food again, is the viewing area. So if you have a dinner reservation at California Grill, even if it's an early one, all you have to do is just keep your receipt. And when it comes time for fireworks, you go back up to the elevator, go all the way up, and then they will let you go out onto the viewing deck that overlooks Magic Kingdom. And you can enjoy the fireworks show from there, from the viewing deck, and they pump in the music. So that's a cool little thing that you can do. And then you mentioned Steakhouse 71. So formerly the Wave, I was sad when the Wave left. I loved the Wave, but I'm like, how can they possibly do something better with this space? And here we are, Steakhouse 71, and I'm like, bye Wave, never come back.
They've
I
got
don't miss
two
you
very
anymore.
they've got two very distinctive feels, like between what Steakhouse 71 is and what the Wave was. I mean, it's a world difference as far as dining environments go. But um, I really, again, like I'm kind of like you. I appreciate like the history about the resort and sort of Walt Disney the person and all those things. I think that was kind of the purpose of that restaurant,
Yeah,
to sort of have a place that was a nod to Walt and the vision behind the resort. So
yeah.
definitely go check it out if you haven't.
There is in the walkway into the restaurant itself has
Hmm.
historical photos of the construction of Disney World, and a lot of stuff with Roy Disney, and you have a picture of Walt kind of surveying the property before his death, and then you see some iconic photos like Harriet Burns, who we talked about on the show last week. There is a photo of her um, working with some of the, I think, animatronic pieces for Snow White's Scary Adventures. But there's just a lot of really cool. And again, it has like a modern '70s feel to it. So yeah, I think the design of it is really well, but then the menu is, I think, for the price that you're paying for these meals, um, it's I think it's a value. Uh, Relatively inexpensive when we are talking about Disney prices for food, but they're outstanding. Like
Right.
everything is so good. I think it's one of the best burgers on Disney property. They have a very interesting vegetarian dish. They took a beef Wellington and made it like a veggie Wellington.
Right.
Um, and the chocolate cake is spectacular. And they took, which I still believe one of the best appetizers uh, anywhere was at the Wave, the bacon and eggs,
Mm.
and they made it even better. So their bacon and eggs is pork belly uh, with a poached egg on top of like Gouda cheese grits.
Right.
So it's spectacular. I love Steakhouse 71. Then of course Chef Mickey's is very popular with the character meal. Contempo Cafe is right there as well. So really great dining options. And then as far as accommodations,
Hmm.
I think it's some of the coolest accommodations
Oh yeah.
on the monorail resort because no, it's the currently that's about to change. It's the only tower. So, um, with the unique design of the contemporary main building itself, you
Mm.
have your Bay Lake side, so you're going to have lake views on one, theme park views on the other. So again, you can literally just walk out on your balcony and watch the fireworks from Magic Kingdom, and it's it's a very unique option to do that. Then on the flip side, you do have some more affordable rooms over in the garden wing. It's just a
Hmm.
short distance away from the main building and from dining and from the monorail. Um, so, but yeah, but those rooms are great as well. They're close. We The last time I stayed at the Contemporary, I was actually in a garden wing room that overlooked Bay Lake, and we got a really up close and personal view of the electrical water pageant.
There you
So
go.
there are pros and to like all of these rooms there at the property. So I think it's a
Hmm.
very well rounded resort as far as what it has to offer: different room types, dining, um, transportation, walking distance from Magic Kingdom, but you can still take the monorail. So so yeah, those are the three big resorts around the monorail, and I don't think we could end this without giving special mention to Wilderness Lodge and the campground.
100%.
Wilderness Lodge is without a doubt one of my favorite resorts, both in design and what it has to offer. I like the pool there. I think the DVC, you have Boulder Ridge, and then you have Copper Creek. They, especially with Copper Creek, the newer DVC rooms are fantastic, and you have those. You have everything from a standard room all the way up to those 3-bedroom cabins that are on the waterfront of Bay Lake. That has its own little private little hot tub. And kind of backing up a second, we didn't even talk about the bungalows over at the Polynesian. So
Yeah,
one of the most
I mentioned them in passing, but yeah, that's definitely a unique experience for sure.
Yeah, the bungalows are one of the most sought after experiences at the Polynesian. But I love Wilderness Lodge. I love everything about Wilderness Lodge. It's one of my favorite resorts, not just at Christmas with the Christmas decorations, but like year round. I like the aesthetic, just the outdoor theme to everything. Really great dining. I think Roaring Fork is one of the best quick service dining options at any Disney resort. You have Whispering Canyon. Then
Where
you
else
have,
could you go for a ketchup parade? I mean, come on.
yes, Whispering Canyon is something else. Why did I forget? It used to be Artist Point, or is it still Artist Point?
It's Storybook
Storybook,
Dining.
yes,
Dining
Storybook
at Artist Point or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I won't get into the character thing, but the characters are cool. The evil queen is worth the visit. And then
I'm just saying, Artist Point is a very popular place for people that ran the Dopey Challenge over Marathon Weekend to go and dine afterwards, so they could get like an up close of a picture as they could with Dopey.
Yeah.
Afterwards. I know a lot of people that were doing that. Running it. So.
Couple people chiming in. Nick, what's up, man? The rocking chairs by the fireplace are also relaxing. Yes, 100%. And there have been some days here recently at Disney World where it has been a little chilly, and that would be like my number one place to be, camped out right 100%. In front of that fire. Samantha is going to be at Whispering Canyon for the first time in 11 days. You are going to love it. It is amazing. It's hope. Well, we'll talk about the other dining experience at the campground in just a second. But I know
where you're going with that.
I love the wait staff at Whispering Canyon. They are great. You're going to love it.
I've got to say, like, for me, just interrupt you for a second if you don't mind.
Yeah.
Geyser Point is quickly becoming my. Well, I mean, go ahead. I don't want to steal your thunder.
No. You go right ahead. We're on the same page.
Okay. I know we were like kind of like alternating and whatever, but for me, Geyser Point is quickly becoming my favorite quick service on property. It has been for a little while. Has been Satuli Canteen at Pandora, the World of Avatar over at Animal Kingdom, but Geyser Point is kind of a hybrid of a restaurant. So yes, technically it's a quick service, but it's got a full bar and they have wait staff that basically takes your order and brings you your food, but it's still considered a quick service, which, whatever, they don't take advanced dining reservations. So you kind of walk up, it's open air, it's outside. It's a great place to go. Like in the spring and even summertime, even when it's warmer outside, they've got like fans and there's, plenty of shade and whatnot. And I love going there just to kind of hang out. The best cheeseburger I have ever had in my entire life came from Geyser Point. The bison burger was absolutely phenomenal. I had it with somebody was making fun of me the other day about it, but I had it with quinoa instead of like fries. And the quinoa there was actually paired really well with the bison burger.
Okay.
When we were there back in I guess it was for the 50th, there was an agent meetup that was there, and that's when I had it for the first time back in October. and was told that that was voted the best burger on all of Disney property by, I think, by cast members. But really, really enjoyed. It's just a, again, pretty chill place. The service is great. The food is solid. Freshly prepared. It's not sitting under a warmer in the back somewhere.
Right.
So 100% recommend.
So I've been debating on saying this, on whether to say it or not. It's giving away all of our secrets and stuff. So look, there are times when when I'm in Magic Kingdom and, it's lunchtime or, it's dinner time. I don't have a table service dining place and I'm looking around at the options around me. Okay. Do I want Casey's? Maybe not. Do I want Harbor House? No, I just want a burger, but I sure don't want Cosmic Race. You better believe I'm going to get on that boat and take the time away, go over to Geyser Point, wait a few minutes for a table.
Yes.
Sit down and order one of the best, arguably the best. I think Steakhouse 71 might now. There's
I've not had that one, so
yeah,
I'll leave that up to you.
But the bison cheeseburger at Geyser Point is amazing, and is well worth your time away from the Magic Kingdom, because sometimes you just need a break from all those people. And like this week is especially. So I was there on Sunday with a lot of people, and it was great. We had a great time. But I was with like a group of 130 that I helped plan a trip for. So I went down to make sure that everything worked and was fine. And sure enough, there were some ticket issues. There were some problems with computer systems and whatnot, but we got it through. And everybody got in the park and we were all set. But this is one of the busiest weeks in a very long time.
Oh yeah. Normal's back. Like if you've, oh gosh, I've had
we are back
there too.
We are back, and this is just a really, really great place to escape to. One of my other favorite. Well, you know what? I kind of I don't go to the Grand Floridian a lot to escape, but the Contemporary I escape to kind of in the convention area lobby if I just need to get away, maybe work on some client emails or whatever. The Polynesian is also a place. I just get on the boat, go have a Dole Whip, get out of the park for a couple hours, and then go back whenever I'm ready to go back. And I think that's one of the beauties of staying at one of the Monorail resorts or one of the Magic Kingdom area resorts. Is if you're staying there, it's so convenient because you can just go back to your room. You have little kids.
Yeah.
Nap time has just been made very more easy now. Instead of going out of Magic Kingdom, going to the bus depot and waiting for a bus and getting on a bus and waiting some more, and then finally getting back to your room, and your kids are just done. Here, you are either walking distance, monorail, like just within a few minutes, you are back to your room to have that recharge. And I think that needs to be in consideration, especially for families with small kids. So
absolutely. As a parent of 4 small children, a 9, 7, 5, and 3-year-old, I will completely endorse that statement. There's some kids nap in strollers fine, some do not, but it's very convenient to kind of be close. And even when I was basically staying essentially by myself during the Travelmation treat back in January, I found myself a number of times needing to go back to the room. I did the Dopey Challenge at the marathon weekend, so y'all, I was just completely beat. And I am so glad that I stayed close to the Magic Kingdom, because a lot of our events were hosted over by the Contemporary and also in the park. And It was just very, very convenient to be able to have that to go back and take a nap, or if I forgot something, or just want to drop stuff off. I mean, so you don't have to worry about like necessarily shipping something, to the gift shop at your
Mhm.
hotel or to the front of the park to pick up. Like you can take the merch back and just leave it in your room. So there's a number of reasons why. I mean, the convenience factor is huge. And I think is very understated. And when you line up those three, let's say four, or say 4.5, if you count Bay Lake Tower as sort of a separate one, there's something I think special beyond just the amenities. And I go back to that like a lot, talking about just sort of the history behind that area. There are a lot of other great deluxe villas, hotels that are on property that are phenomenal. And I may end up talking about some of them on Travel Tips Tuesday tonight. Here in just a little bit. Hashtag shameless plug.
It is a
But
double feature tonight, ladies and
it's
gentlemen.
a double feature. You'll get way more of me than you ever knew was possible or wanted, for that matter. So like I love one of my absolute favorite resorts on property is Disney's Beach Club and the villas over there. And as much as I love that place, I love Storm Long Bay. I love the sense, the dining options, the rooms, all of that. I would take a stay over at Polynesian any day over
Yep.
those. Just anyway, yeah. But I go a lot into it, but I don't want to miss. Susie's here. Obviously, if you're just kind of here now, I'm not Susie. I have some things in common with Susie, like our affinity for Run Disney, Travelmation, and all the things. But um, we know she loves the campgrounds.
Mm.
That's a very special thing for her. So
We would be
uh,
remiss if we did not mention the
yes,
campground before
100%. We
closing
would
this
hear
out.
it. We would hear it for sure. I The campgrounds is actually on my bucket list. I've never stayed there. I've been through there. I've walked past Pioneer Hall. I've been all around all around the resort area. I've never stayed at one of the cabins either. But there's something very again, very special. It has a unique environment and atmosphere, especially around the fall season and holiday season, with kind of the unofficial golf cart parades and stuff that they do, and people, go all out and decorate. And I mean, it's like, if you don't know, it's incredibly difficult to get a reservation on the campgrounds in the month of October, and really even November. Because of all the people that continuously come back year after year after year. Like that's just a place that they do a source of making memories with their families, kind of like Susie's family. And it's just a real special place. It's got a lot of great amenities. If you're kind of skittish around the idea of camping, like outdoors, out in the elements, go camping at Disney. Like
Mm.
seriously, go camping at Disney, because they will take care of you. The comfort stations are great. They have a lot of amenities
Yeah.
on site that are very well. It's not like your average run of the mill KOA campground. No offense to the fine folks at KOA, but
Yeah,
it's it
it's almost like, yeah, it's completely different than what you probably, if you've never been there,
mhm.
it is different than what you would expect at a normal campground. Um, they're very, very nice facilities. And you can camp, yeah, and when we say camp, like there are spaces where you can do pop-up tents.
Right.
There is spaces for little tiny campers,
Hmm.
RVs, really big RVs.
Yep. Like
They,
the bus size. Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Um, so, and another really great option. I love the full, and we've talked about them
Hmm.
before. I love having
Yep.
the option to have a full kitchen at your
Right.
disposal. Let's be honest, Disney food is not cheap. If you were on a
Nope.
budget, yes, you're paying a little bit more for the cabins. The cabins themselves are not cheap, but they do sleep six,
Right.
and you do have the ability to cook whatever meal you want whenever you want.
A lot of times, like they're not cheap, but like Sleeping Six, I would say most of the time when I've looked, they end up being cheaper than the Art of Animation family suites that also sleep six.
Yeah, they
So
fluctuate a little bit. So yeah, it's kind
yeah,
of they're about on par with that pricing there.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
but
So, but
they
I
are
feel like you get a little bit more. I mean, the location, Art of Animation is great, the Skyliner and all that. But I feel like you get a little bit more with staying in the cabins, personally.
yeah, I agree. You do have the convenience of the second bathroom
Mhm.
with it,
This is
and
true.
you probably have better pools,
Yep.
but that kitchen though you do not
Mhm.
have at the Art of Animation suite. So,
Yep.
and then I just like being closer to Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes.
now, transportation at the campground is a little difficult too sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, if you are driving in and you are relying on the buses, just be patient. It's a big place. Like, this is a big area to cover. This is why people rent golf carts.
Yes.
Um, as travel agents, we can help you acquire those as well, in addition to your accommodations. But a golf cart is going to make your life a whole lot easier
It will.
when you stay there. So,
They can go a lot of places that cars cannot, and a lot of people that drive on go, "Oh, I'll be fine. I've got my car." I'm like, "Well, that's good. That'll help you a little bit, but there are some places that'll get you a lot closer, like towards the boat launches that go over
mhm,
to Magic Kingdom and in front of some of the dining options where you can kind of like order your food, quick service, run over on the golf cart and pick it up towards some of the trading posts and stuff like that. You can get a little bit closer to those buildings in the golf carts versus just having a car or
yeah,
taking the bus, which like Matt was saying can take a while.
take a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, I think we need to mention dining, Trails End and Hoop-Dee Doo.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
Trails End, I mean, both of these, great. I love one over the other for obvious reasons. Trails End is a really solid option.
Mhm.
And then Hoop-Dee-Doo, which isn't back yet. In fact, there was a rumor that was put out today
Oh
that
gosh.
the Hoop-Dee-Doo was going to be replaced by a bluegrass experience group.
Somebody was baited on that. Like, hey, this is an idea to get some clicks, and we won't mention
No,
the name,
so they did
but
respond.
ugh,
There was
yes,
a
I saw that.
response.
Yeah.
So the rumor has been refuted, but I will
Yes.
still say we will see. And
Yeah.
for the sake of all of us, so I don't have to go down and chain myself to the front doors of the building itself, um, the Hoop-Dee-Doo needs to return because
Yes.
the world needs the Hoop-Dee-Doo review. Not just Disney World. I'm not talking about Disney World. I mean Earth. The
Earth
world,
needs it.
the Earth needs Hoop-Dee-Doo. It is part of the healing process out of COVID. So
So I have not seen the show, which I can't know if you remember that or not. I had an opportunity to
I
go
have
once
forgotten
with
that.
you.
Yes.
Do what? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
had one
remember.
an opportunity to go. There was like one spot left, and I was told, "Hey, you can have this," and I was like, "No, I'm like being cheap, trying to save money," and I'm like kicking myself now, y'all. Like, I really, really wish, like, especially since like Matt and I both have had the chance to meet some cast members that actually two different ones. Our friend McNair that's been on with Matt and
Yes.
Sugni played
Yeah.
Six Bits back in the day, and then our more recent friend Rob Lott, who's also played Six Bits way more recently. Up until it kind of closed, and I've gone back to watch the YouTube videos, but there's just again there's something special about that show that it's not just like your average dinner theater experience. S like I'm just like I'm waiting. I'm waiting for the news to drop. And like when I saw that today, I got this part just got so mad. I'm like, I can't do this. I
Nope.
can't.
Nope.
But
I
anyway,
I nope. It I don't even want to talk about it. Like it can't happen because it has to come back. There's nothing else I can say. It has to come back. It is one of those places for me. Like it's just very important to me. It's great. So well, what else can we say? I mean, we've gone around the monorail resort, even a little further beyond. Um, I think just consider staying at the monorail resorts or the wilderness lodge or the campground on your next Disney vacation. Kind of weigh the options. We went through dining and location and room accommodations, and hopefully there's something that kind of appeals to you. So if you are looking to book your next vacation, you can contact either one of us. We would love to help you guys do that. And of course, Susie too. Susie's gone. So you can also email Susie for your vacation needs as well. But we all work for Travelmation. Travelmation is a authorized Disney vacation planner. And honestly, yeah, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We are one of the best travel agencies in the country for Disney vacations. Like Disney recognized our agency. We are currently platinum. So there are just a handful of platinum agencies around the country with that distinction. And we're just full of really great agents like myself and Susie and John. We're just really dedicated to making sure that you and your family have the best trip possible and as easy a trip planning as you can when coming to Disney World. Because let's be honest, right now, Disney World is going through some growing pains and there's a lot of changes. And it wasn't an easy place to navigate beforehand. And I think, again, it's because of how much Disney has to offer in the variety of services. But, with Genie Plus, and how does that work? And, where's the best character meal for my kid? And, where can we have a date night? And where's the best place to view the fireworks? We have all been to Disney so many times that we are your Disney experts. So we can answer those questions for you and really build a custom vacation specifically for you, designed for you, so that you have the best trip possible. So reach out to us. Our email for the podcast is ImagineEarsPodcast@gmail.com. And then you can also contact John. John, what's your Travelmation email?
JohnRogers@travelmation.net. So
Very good.
You can also connect with me on Facebook. I'm friends with Matt and Susie. But so would love to help if I can.
Absolutely. Yeah. So go check out his social media platforms. If you haven't checked out ours, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the ImagineEars Disney podcast and you'll be able to find us. And then if you haven't subscribed to the podcast, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to your podcast. Again, look for ImagineEars Disney podcast in your search bar and leave us a rating. Tell us what you love about the show. And leave us comments on social media and in the comments for the podcast. If you want to talk about a certain Disney topic that interests you, you want to hear us talk about something, we will take those into consideration. That's one of the things that we love doing for our listening audience. This show is for you, it is as much as it is for us. So we love doing it each and every week, but we are here for you and we enjoy doing it. John, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate coming in last minute to fill in for Susie. Much appreciated, my friend.
Absolutely. It's been a blast, Matt. I appreciate you opening up the show to me. And it's been great to connect with some of your listeners. And I give you guys shout outs as much as possible because, I really do. I really am big fans of what you all do and the content you put out and the overall quality of it. So it's good stuff. And again, thanks for the opportunity. It was fun.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And last note for our Patreon people. So typically we do a post show, and because Susie is gone, we will wait until she comes back. So there will not be a post show tonight, but we will make that up here in the near future. Maybe think of something else fun to do for you guys. So hope you guys all have a great night. We look forward to coming at you next week with another episode. But until then, friends, remember, if you can dream it, you can do it.
There's really no secret about our approach. We keep moving forward, opening up new doors, doing new things, because we're curious. And curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. We're always exploring and experimenting.